Twitch and on the YouTubes. So I think I've done it. Can pause them so they don't take up all the bandwidth. Get this. Oh, I've done something. I have not put that on the correct audio output. Can go on the Road Podcaster. Sorry. Okay. I don't know if that's too quiet. Probably not. Not getting frame drops, so that's a good thing. I do need to get started on this anyway. Yeah, so I think started on there. Yeah, that's also I was showing. Have to try and get this stuff working together. I think this does need correcting. Something just doesn't look off. Something doesn't look correct about this. So if I can try and correct that, I think it needs to match the curve of the tail. Not receiving enough video. It doesn't say drop frames, so I don't know. Apparently it's excellent on Twitch. I don't think I move a colour. Did I? I think I might have. I need to lock the colour layers if I'm not using them. Something just doesn't seem off. Something doesn't seem correct about how this is lined up with the lines. Particularly around here. But I think it's in position. I don't think it's like slid over. Maybe it has. So where's the colour? The outfit colour. I have missed so much. Not even just colouring within the lines, it's just not quite lined up at all. If I move that, will that help? From what I'm seeing, I think it's just a few edges that are not lined up as they should be. Can try the other parts of the dress as well, see if this is possible to line up. Because if I've made a terrible mistake here. So, outfit base colour. I don't know why that's on copy. Actually, I do. It's because I copied the stuff to the 80,058 pixel. No, 80,085 pixel canvas size for high at least. Should say, yeah, 128,136 by 80,085, which Clip Studio does support with the stuff I have done to it. It doesn't want to support it, but I made it support it. So we have that. I don't know, the music sounds very quiet on my end. Could probably turn it up a little. I could probably set on the other window actually. Up here. So I think that should work. It was very quiet from what I could tell. I think I need to erase some of this, just around the edge. I believe it is set to like follow the vector line, so it shouldn't do too much damage. Yeah, just something is misaligned. Maybe I could move it over a bit. So how does that line up on this edge? It's like I line it up in one place and then it's not lined up in the other. I did not expect this to become a problem at all, but it is, somehow. Because this is just base colour at the moment, I can colour pick it. Oh dear. The PC is not liking this resolution. I don't think it's resulting in dropped frames. I think it's because it's a hardware encoder on the GPU, but the GPU has other issues, like being from 2016. The old thing is still going, but a low profile card from 2016. Probably not meant to be worked hard for this many years. Yet, with a RAM apocalypse, I won't be upgrading it just yet. Do, do, da, da, da. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So yeah, the tail needs to be more a colour that matches the hair. So I could do that, but I want to at the same time get the rest of the dress done properly. So ears or tail line art. Why is that not in the tail line art? At this point, I might as well just delete it. It's easier than trying to fight it. I can redraw that later, or I can go back. I can actually go and cut and paste this, so Control C, delete, and ears or tail line art, it can go in here, Control V, because it's a vector line. Should have done that in the first place, honestly, but I didn't. So, there's all these bits around here that I've like just trimmed and done sketch practice and stuff to actually finally get the ears somewhat finished. I mean, that ear colour is separate as well, so the colour on those two elements is separate. So I can add them in later. Should provide less messing around. And yeah, that I did resize this, so this stuff just needs to line up with the base of the canvas. Go on the skin base colour, which that is. Yeah, my PC does not like this resolution. And I can't get an RTX in the current climate. No less one of the few RTXs that will actually fit in this case. This crazy custom Stone 1210 case. Not a custom case in and of itself, but the way I've modified it, I've done a lot to it. Can probably make that switch corner. There we go. That actually kind of lines up now. I feel like I'll have to do something with this. So that's eye line art. If I put that underneath some others, so hair base colour, yeah. So we go eye line art. Can go beneath the hair top and bottom colour, which is having those two layers. That's how I'm able to get this kind of transparency. I can change that at will, depending on how thick I want the hair to look. I think I've got it as I want now, so I have to zoom in a bit more because of bitweight and stuff, but you can just about see the body underneath the hair, and that is intentional. Granted, I have got something missing here. I do want to get into rendering this properly, but at the same time, I don't want this stuff to just be missing, and I keep noticing it. So it'll be hair base colour bottom and top. So the top is a partially transparent one, same colour, but with partial transparency. So this is on 93% opacity. So like 7% more transparent than the normal block colour. And then we can go do the same thing under here. It's because I changed the hair. Oh, base colour top. Okay, I've done the top. Bottom, there we go. So like that goes there. That's how I've done it, you see. Like the tails here, they don't have the same layer. I've got a layer and then I've got a layer layered on top of that. And you don't see the difference until you see the opacity, where you only see the second layer. Works very good for like very easy hair opacity. So, gonna have to have some shadows here. If I find my reference. See if there's any lighting here. On the me, which I used for the anatomy. So, I can highlight this in pink or whatever because... So we've got the sky up there. It's kind of somewhat shaded in the whole place. Is there any lighting in the eye? I see like a dot of light there. So, yeah, there's definitely a dot of light, which would imply, I guess, the lighting is coming down like that. I'm trying to learn this. So I think something like this is how the lighting is going. And I mean, I know I'm completely destroying this image, but it's still, this is just imported on a completely different layer and everything. That's how I'm able to get this high resolution thing. I have a file specifically to import the base canvas, which is this, as a photo, but then it also stretches out the canvas resolution. And yes, I'm doing things that no one's done, as far as I know. So we've got this. Eye art needs to be between the two hair layers, I think. There we go. Speaking of which, I do still have the pink on my pen, so hair base colour top and hair base colour bottom. There we go. So it's the hair base colour top is in some ways not filled. I don't know if that's to do with like the lines. The vector, not vectors, something to do with the reference layer. So if we remove that, I don't actually need that highlighted. So hair base colour top would be that. Because I'm not going to cross the lines anyway, I'm going pretty precise. Like, this is just something that I missed. And I did correct this since I did the last stream on YouTube, so, you know, the anatomy makes a little bit more sense. So we've got that. Then there's the lower layer, make sure that is sealed up quite nicely. The lower layer, I don't think... Yeah, the lower layer goes above the higher layer. But we do still need to kind of block that off. And this should work, because as you see, we've got the top and bottom layers. That's going to be like kind of transparent, so you'll see the eyelash. I guess these are like some very, very basic rendering. But still, we've got eye line odd. I think this is like 46, 46, 46 for RGB, because it shows up well on most LCD displays, whereas absolute black doesn't. Some LCDs, and especially OLEDs, display that well, but not everything. This is a measure I worked out. It was actually 23, 23, 23. You didn't notice anything below that on like this older Samsung LCD panel, so after that, it has dropped a lot of frames. It's fine now, it seems. It just at some point dropped a lot of frames. Anyway, that's Samsung. I keep hitting the VCR tape door. The, what was I saying? My head has just gone. The, yeah, I hit the tape door and then now I've forgotten everything. Oh yeah, that Samsung display. That had, like 23 and 23 was the lowest you could see before you just don't notice the difference between that and absolute black. Double that, I got this, which also allows me to go a little darker than the line art should I have to. I mean, yeah, everything has to be a maths equation with how I do stuff. So, I call it eye base colour. That should be within the line art. Anyway, as I said, I colour picked this. So we can remove the hair colour top. Should just be able to use a fill bucket here. Save myself a bit of time. Save everyone a bit of time. Yeah, like I don't think anyone's going to notice I even used the fill bucket there, honestly, when it's all over and done. There we go. I think that looks pretty decent. Like, you can also see where the top of the, what do you call it, top of the eye is. And it fits, like, between those two hair layers. Yeah, just the camera's there, I think. Yeah, so it fits between the two hair layers. We have hair, and then the eyelash right in the middle of them. So I think that's pretty decent. Now the base colour, I don't know if I've done this. That's actually the dress. That's I could reuse that for eye white if it's not too dark. No, that's too... Okay, that's ever so slightly blue bias. I mean, maybe there's a reason I did that, but I don't know. I'll go with 245, 245, 245. And that will be our eye white colour. So it's almost absolute white, but not quite, because I don't think anything is absolute white on these drawings. And if it is, it's probably going to be like sunlight or something, like going right in from the side or from the top. That's where you would use absolute white, I feel. So there is uses for it. You just maybe wouldn't have it. I mean, even sunlight is kind of yellow. So I believe it's somewhat yellow. So even then, I guess if you're going for a silhouette, absolute white could work in a contrast measure. Especially if the foreground is like black and then white, contrast all the rest of it. And this is saving recovery information. I hope it doesn't take ages. I mean, I've not had trouble with it before. There we go. At least before on this one, should I say, of work. So we've got you can't really see if it says I all that well, but honestly, I've got a colour picker layer. I've just put it on eye base colour. I can erase it later. It's okay. It's out of the way enough that it's not going to be an issue. As long as I do it in future correctly. It's also not the most important colour, so if it's lost to history, then it's not the biggest issue. So we have got line art, copy. That's what we want. Although, I don't know, it's listed them all as copy because, as I say, I copied them off another canvas, because you get to this whereas if you have loads of photos and stuff imported, it just won't save. Clip Studio is not supposed to work this way. Hair base colour bottom. The eye base colour should be able to take this. I don't know, I filled this in at some point in the centre of the eye, because it was just, I was wishing to give it some kind of, not context, what do you call it? I can probably erase that. No, that's not actually on that layer. Interesting. If I just click on it, will it take me to whatever layer that's on? Eye white copy. Oh, so that is eye white. Okay, I can use that with eye base colour. Eye base colour now, I can just erase this whole thing. I think how that's expanding past the limits is because, oh dear, is that I think it's because I resized the eye a little to try and make more sense of it. Because I just made some small refinements to the overall design, and that's how I ended up with it, as it is. So then we've got the eye white copy, which doesn't even need the copy name. This I should be able to erase it more easily. As I say, the eye size changed, so that's why it doesn't quite fit perfectly. I don't know what colour I used for the eye white, but I have got a colour. I might have just used the colour from like the outfit. It ultimately doesn't matter too much. Granted, is this on top of it? It is somehow. Okay, okay. That's on top of it. If I can fix this. It's not the easiest way of doing it, but I can definitely fix this. So we have... What colour is that? Actually, I did. I used that exact colour. I know myself too well. So I can do that. I can fill up to vector path, or I can do it how it is. I think it's done what I wanted to. Nah, it's like close gap. Try removing that. Ultimately, it doesn't matter if it overruns the line a little because it's still consistent enough. Oh dear, please don't tell me I'm filling in the whole canvas. Because that would take time. A lot of time. I can open paint on that. So... if I have to, I can just do some doodling. Try and size this up. There we go. We can do some doodling. Let's go with I don't know, 38, 40 by 28. Yeah, I don't know. That'll do. Yeah, I think I messed this up bad. I could do some doodling. See how easy I can draw this design? I don't think it's got stabilization on, hence why my line work is super wonky. Now, there's no like curve to this. It's something like that. I think I can replicate this easily enough, though, which was an issue of the original design because it was too complicated. It looks like an absolute mess, and now I've lost paint on it. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to do this, though. But it's something... oh. I'm clicking off paint on that. I keep forgetting where the border of this program actually is. Now, click on the eraser on there and not paint on that, and then it closes paint on that off. There's also white here. Oh dear, what am I doing? I have to kind of doodle over it because of the way it is. I don't think this is ever going to be good. I want my good image, but it's taking ages because I made a dumb mistake. Yeah, it's like... I'm just saying the description is open on Twitch. I did press done. I think what I need to do, I think I need to make a new layer. I'll make 2 new layers on paint.net. So fill it up on here. So then we can go background, change the opacity. Is it, okay. It's doing something. It's doing something at least. Yeah, I think paint.net. I think I don't need paint.net now. If this is doing what I'm thinking it's doing. I did. Now I can't even open paint.net. Unless I go on the other display. Sometimes it does that, like, at least if I've messed up now, I messed up and now it should have fixed itself. Oh, I keep grabbing the wrong layer. Keep grabbing the Clip Studio layer. Can try going with a line art colour actually. Again, I don't think there's stabilisation on Paint.net. Ah, this reminds me of a Windows 7 days before everything went too wrong with Microsoft. No less, I can have it open at the same time as Clip Studio, so at least I don't lose my work or anything. Well, that's a silver lining. There we go. So we have got that. Again, at least Clip Studio doing this and like threatening to crash means it's doing something. Okay, have we got it back? Has Clip Studio recovered? Not quite. Nope. I just have to wait for it to respond. It will respond. Who knows how long that will take. So we get the eraser. Because I'm not using a full screen here, so it shows better on the stream, but the issue with that is that I have to have it open in like a window above Clip Studio, which is too easy to press. There we go. Can actually extend this out here as well. Had the proportioning of the window completely wrong. I can see like the little loading doodle in Clip Studio. Like this isn't ideally lined up, but it is something. And I'm clicking on the wrong thing again. I mean, this is an important test though, because it's like it demonstrates how easy is my thing to draw. I think I've drawn these on top of each other, but it demonstrates like how easy is the character to draw. I mean, I think it's okay. It's not the easiest thing ever, but still. Yeah, I keep grabbing the wrong thing, then it's like, nope, your taskbar has gone, you can't do anything about this. Just hope it doesn't take too long to recover. One move, that's all it took. So we've got like that. Yeah, I cannot replicate this very well. It's not the most difficult thing to draw. It's just having to draw it in Paint.net with no stabilization. I keep drawing it like too wide on the top and then it completely messes it up. This is some kind of practice anyway. Clip Studio may have recovered, but maybe I'm holding my breath too much. There we go. That is a mess. But I kind of did it better each time, I think. To an extent, at least. Right, Clip Studio, are you still having issues? Nope. It's worked. Finally. Actually, I don't think that should be there. At least I've noticed something now. I'm just going to save this before I mess it up again. Not that there's any risk of losing it, but I feel like I have to now. And, yeah, there's like this skin on this side of the line shouldn't be there. Because it might interfere with my hair coloration. Probably not, but I have to be sure. So, writing to file, yes, it's done that. We now have skin base colour, which is naturally a copy. I don't know, I need to fix some of these being copy at least. Or I don't, but I'm just being obsessive about doing so. There we go. Sorry. Okay. So I could go with the eye white up here as well. But you know what my mind is like? No, just don't do it. You're gonna mess up. So we've got this. This is like the head and kind of, yeah. I'm gonna just copy this because I have an idea. If I copy that, and then I can go... There's eye line art somewhere, yeah. I'll paste it on top. So then on eye line art, I can theoretically just like trim that. Well, not that way. So I think it's like body line art final, because I have to remove that to actually know I'm cutting the right moments, right elements, should I say? Sorry. Then we can trim something from the base of the eye. And there, we've got the line art around the eyes, which I think is important. Did I? Yeah, I think I copied the whole thing. Need to relax my shoulders. Oh, the tension from Clip Studio. Not almost crashing, pretending it was going to crash. It like threatens to crash, but it's not going to crash. So we've got eye line art, body line art, that can go back. Like you see, there's a skull there, kind of I drew, but it was kind of off, so I had to reshape the whole thing with the hair. You don't see that, so it ultimately doesn't matter too much. You only see the front part of it. Now, eye line art, point here is, I'm just not going to touch the fill bucket. In fact, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to, or rather enable apply to selected pixels only, so I don't end up making that mistake again. I'm lucky with how dumb I was being that honestly it didn't crash worse than it did. So eye line art. Oh, it's because I'm doing it on the eye white. Is that? Yeah, it's because I'm doing it on the wrong colour. I basically though want this so whatever you do with a shading, it will show across the base. Like hopefully being able to clip to it or something of that nature. I think there's some at the top I can trim. Just here, because as I say, the eye changed shape. Or I could fill that up to the line, which I think maybe is a better idea. I guess it depends if I put the hair on top of it though. Because I don't think I actually want that shading there. Having thought of it a little. I could actually test something on the YouTube, see if it goes through. See if this is even connected. Yeah, okay, it's connected on there. See if it's connected on here. Okay, so that works, good. Because it wasn't working when I entered on YouTube before the stream started on the schedule, so I just had to make sure it worked on both. It did. Okay, so we've got eye white that can hopefully fill this out. I think I just made that black as a temporary measure. I did, but I'm on eraser, not pen. That's not what I want. Could probably just make this larger to make sure I actually fill out that space. There we go. So, like, what I worked out, that's supposed to be kind of the sideways view of the eye. I'm trying to demonstrate it. So, you know, you have, like, the eye looking forward kind of thing, and that's, like, the piece looking forward. That's supposed to be the centre of the eye. It's always been supposed to be that way, but there are too many vector points, and it scares me. Now, I've done these kinds of things before, but it's like clipping it to layers and stuff. It gets a little complicated, so the centre of the eye isn't going to have to change the colour all that much. It's mainly just the intricacies of how it's going to go about, because I don't want to mess this up. It's so easy to do that, though. Ah. There we go. That is not looking correct. Like, that looked fine before. I've messed it up. I don't want the eye black to be too much, or the pupil, I think they call it, to be too much of the eye, because I want to do fun stuff with the colour of the eye, even if it's technically less realistic. You can do a lot with the eyes, Easter eggs and all the rest of it. I feel like I should have like a signature of sorts in the eye. Because these AI things, if they ever try and rip me off, they're not going to do that. Just generally the eyes are like they have no soul, so they can't imitate this. They can't imitate eyes with actual soul. Okay. I mean, maybe I should just make that smaller. It's all the perspectives I don't understand. Yeah, something just doesn't quite align with it as I would like it to. Particularly at the top. Now, I don't know what shape I'm going for with this eye. I need to do rendering, though. But I keep messing up the eyes. Well, I will get into some more rendering and stuff on this. There is, like, the skin and stuff. I don't know, it needs some shading, I think, but... Needs some shading, but then that's kind of a complicated matter. Got this. Honestly, I feel like maybe I could just break that line up, because it's like in that line, and I don't think that's the best idea. So if we go add to that, add to that, get a little more curve in that, so looks a little more three-dimensional. On both edges, actually, not just on one. That piece does not go out far at all. Okay, I think that's a little better than it was. There we are. And I'm going to have to redo the colour. I thought I was completely done with the line art like the last stream I did on this, and I'm not. I have such an obsession with line art. It is a failing on my part. So, we've got, I think it'll be outfit colour. Yeah, outfit base colour. There we go. It is fixed. Or slightly. Not completely, but slightly fixed. So, I do feel like there should be a little shadow, probably here. Not a huge amount, just, you know, because, I don't know, the light's hitting, I think I had that in there. So, like, I saw a light dot there. So, the light is hitting, like, somewhere there. I mean, that gives us something to work on. So if I go, I think, again, I might use absolute white. Probably not. It's not ideal. But anyway, if we go, select that colour, perhaps. Colour picker, there we go. It's also a copy of a colour picker. Like, everything is a copy here. No, I'm totally original. It's not a copy of everything that's not mine. So we've got, I think that's going to be the same colour. On the colour picker. I do need to get the... There, eyedropper. So we've got this. I'm gonna want some. I think I'm gonna want a softer brush as well, something more like an airbrush. I'm gonna want to add that in when I've done the colour picker though, naturally. So get the colour wheel up, which yeah, that shows just about. So I think I want to go. Make that lighter. You kind of think even change your skin colour here somewhat. If you like add a lot of lighter lighting and then make the shadows a little less dark, you can make the skin I think appear lighter in tone. It's a fairly mid-tone I think I've got there now, which is actually good because it's much easier to change however I might see fit. Because it's very flat colour. I do want to fix that. And I'm thinking, as I say, the light appearing as it was, like so. We're going to want that to, like, apply to everything pretty much. And there's going to be rebounding light and stuff. It's never this simple. But we have to start somewhere. So we have got, got a few more frame drops. I'm not paying attention, but it's okay. Less frame drops. More frame drops than I would like. But it doesn't seem to be dropping horrendously. YouTube doesn't look great. Like, I don't know, unstable, apparently the stream is. Apparently my connections are unstable. So that is not good. I could try changing the bitrate if I can find it. Nope, that's not the bitrate. I don't know. So we close that. If we go and no, it's like OBS is not liking me. It's like hidden half the menus and stuff. And I think I need to get the music back. Apparently it's unstable, so I'm going to have to try and lower that somewhat. Hopefully making it more stable. Yeah, it's not pushing out the bitrate that it would really be ideal. So, I think it's working now. I don't know, it's not dropping any more frames than it was, but yeah, what was it doing? My head is escaping me. Anyway, the skin, that needs some shading and stuff. So the lighting, as I say, is going to hit from this angle. Can I see any of that on the reference? Yes, I can. So there's light hitting the shoulder here. If I can get a marker colour, just use whatever I've got probably. So again, we've got the light hitting there, I believe. That is something that there is to bear in mind. So I can do the same with Sakura. One piece of hair has colour, as is actually kind of intentional. I'll get the... Yeah, the music is not on. That's not good. Fixed. My head is just not in it today. Like, it's missing the obvious things. So we have, that's the tail line art. We do not want to mess with that right now. I mean, I do need to lock some of these line art ones, because if I'm not going to be adjusting this line art, I just don't want to mess with them. Line art and colour and stuff I'm not going to currently touch. Have I changed that to a sketch layer? I did press something. Oh dear. Hurry along, Clip Studio version from like 2019 or whatever it is. I am using this with far too much resolution and somehow having it working. I think it predates Windows 11 even. But it's serviceable. I can lock that. Eye line art. There is rendering the eyes should be fun. Maybe I can get some of that done today. Probably not the whole thing, because I spend a long time on the eyes. Hair base colour. All that can go locked. The body line art also can be locked. Skin base colour. Okay. So, I wonder if I could set that as the, like... Yeah, I can set the raster layers as... references. So I've set this skin base colour as a reference. Now what I'm hoping is this will be just like layer clipping on Ibis Paint. If it works that way. Skin lighting. If this works. I mean, is the music still running or is it just stopping all the time? I think it's... Yeah, I think it's just loading in. Okay. Let's hope that returns into the stream anytime soon, any day soon. There is that is an airbrush, a soft airbrush. If I do this, does it? No, that does not stay to it, but at the same time, I think it wouldn't because of what it is. Yes, the music has come back finally. So I think it would do that. I need to not set that as the vector layer and set the line art, so it'll be body line art, which is locked, so I can't do it. I can actually set it as the reference layer and then lock it again. Yay! Knowledge. So this is 2000. That's the size of canvas we are working on here. So as I say, there is the light hitting in such a way. I think what I'll do... Oh dear, I hope this doesn't cause frame drops. The PC is really working. Like, this appears white, but it is not white. It's just much lighter than everything else going on. And then, as I was saying, we should be able to use this with, like, the vector stuff, and it should hold on to it. So yeah, do not cross vector lines. This eraser. Like, this should work. And I've done some bad job of even a base colour on the skin, but that can be fixed later. Because as I say, I do want to do some nice rendering and stuff. So like, this will... The lighting source and stuff will probably show in the outfit, which again is not exactly lined up. It will be fixed. Likely just not on stream because it's a waste of time. Oh, okay. I am seeing something. Now, there's like these points where kind of a colour isn't sealed in properly, so if you use the eraser on them, it won't actually stick to the vector lines, and that's irritating. The only way to get around it is to just go a little softer on the whole thing. It actually seems like, okay, that was on top of a line art. That was kind of an issue. That was on top of a line art. Oh dear. I mean, I'm not good at moving my layers around by the looks of it. So yeah, I think if I do this, it's just avoiding the pieces of the lines where it where there's like little tiny gaps where the brush can just go straight through it, and then I can use the vector stuff and trust it, and I can't trust it there either. It seems to be going through gaps all over the place. Like, I couldn't tell you exactly why, but I can just tell it's not following the lines there as it's supposed to. There is also shadows. Like, this is not shadow, this is lighting, but there will be shadows that do need to be added to this. So many little pieces of colour that have just gone in the wrong place, and will need fixing in the future when I get the chance. Like, it probably looks fine, honestly, but I just can't rest in good consciousness knowing I've missed something so obvious. So I've got that lighting there. It doesn't show up like the most obvious thing in the world. If anything, I mean, it looks like it might have made the skin darker. But I don't know. I think it's just a small change that you're not really going to notice. Because you do notice it when it's like outside the lines and stuff. It almost like adds more to the shadow on the other side, I feel. So that's definitely a change. I think there's the hands. There's like parts on my reference that are showing the light. Okay, yeah, so you can kind of see it. Kind of see it like lighting the hand in a specific way. I can go much larger. I can probably go to like 500. So I think what it is, like... Yeah, I mean, this is not really doing anything. By which I mean, there's something here, clearly, but you can't see it so well. Is there something with the transparency? I mean, it's on G pen. Have I, like, set this to the base skin colour or something and not the actual lightened skin colour? Nothing's showing up. That's odd. Is it because it's, like, sticking to the vectors? Do not cross lines of reference layer. I mean, this is bizarre. Like, G pen isn't doing anything. Does the paintbrush? No, it just isn't doing anything, and I don't know why. So if I set that to, like, a very dark colour, it's just not showing at all. Actually, no. I'm being dumb. I think I know why it's doing that. Ah, yeah, there, the lighting returns, and I have kind of messed that up. Yeah, I've, like, just gone over the line. Can I go back? I feel like that's where I cut through it, so I can probably sort that out. Point is, oh dear. I think it's like, I think it was below the skin colour. And that was like why it wasn't showing. Yeah, skin base colour. Okay, so I don't know, everything seems to have to be in a folder or it just doesn't work at all. So we have, make a new folder in the folder and we'll call it, skin, rendering. And maybe if I can clip this to the actual skin. Which I don't think I can do it, but I can try. Layer mask? I don't know. Nah. Well, it is there. It is on the correct side of the skin colour, base colour. I did wonder like why it wasn't showing it. It was doing something, but it just wasn't like showing up because it was told not to show up by me. I messed up. I can make this less like dramatic because the lighting is pretty harsh. Don't want to cross over the line. I did that before and it looked terrible. Pretend I've got a more steady hand than I have. When really it's just a stabilization doing its job. Okay. So that is that is a way of shading. I was like just imagining that over shadow and stuff. But anyway, there is stuff we can add. Yeah, so I've gone to that darker colour. At least it's showing up. That's more than I can say for some things. I can't actually make the brush larger though. Like, that's kind of an issue. So I think you wanted to like where it hits these fingers. Just double check that. Okay, yeah, so it like hits the edge of the hits the edge of the joint. I mean, I'm trying not to copy it too closely, but there's only so much I can do. 500, and thus it has like, yeah, so I do believe the lighting here, I found like a lighting point, I think, maybe not the most obvious, but there is a point. It's something like that. But my bony old hands are not good reference. Actually, if I do that kind of works. Okay, so there should be lighting on that side as well, surely. I don't know, things have changed between these two drawings. They're not drawings, the drawing and the reference photo, they're not identical. But I do like to have a reference photo for these exact reasons, because I can see in the exact same conditions as this setting how things apply. Ah, so okay, so around the very edge, I see it like going up there. So I can see around the very edge there is light, and then it goes shadowy on the inside. I do think though, from what I'm seeing, I think I've totally messed this up. And the Clip Studio does not want to go on. Clip Studio does not like me and how I treat it. Okay, so we'll go back. I'm going to go back quite a few times because I did a lot on this and then I'm like, nope, I don't want that anymore. So we'll go 1,000. I mean, that should work. So then we have... Okay, so we have like the light spilling in from this side. But as I say, the setting here is the same, basically. So I'll probably redo the background, but why I love doing this, I get not only my pose, I also get a totally good reference for what I'm actually trying to do environmentally. Even if they're not exact copies, like you can see where the light's coming in now, I think, a little, and as I said, I'll probably have to change it. There's far too much lighting going on, but it's fixable, it's workable. I think I could probably do the arm a little there. Just add a little lighting to that. And I do want to save this, but then it'll take time. I think I'm saving it to like a 5400 RPM hard drive. I'm amazed. An external drive, I'm amazed it's this good. Back in my day, everyone used 5400 RPM drives, whether they wanted to or not. You used a laptop at a workplace or whatever, it will have had one. Even if you could afford those fancy SSDs. How times change. Okay, so that is something. I mean, there will be like some bits overrunning. So I might have lighting hitting there, because it seems like it's hitting quite hard from the side. Sorry, there's the camera's there. So it's hitting from that side quite heavily, I believe. Yeah, like over at that... No, that way, that's it. So the light is hitting the character like that. And then it's like hitting the object, so... That is why the arm appears like that. Now, the hair is interesting. We do see the arm behind the hair. I imagine there'll be quite a lot of lighting there, and then it will probably ease off as you go behind the hair, which is, as I say, partially transparent, but not completely transparent, so... There's no arm particularly here. I can see there's some light there. I would say, yeah, I'd say there's some bits of lighting. Pretty hard to tell because the clothing doesn't show lighting as well as it could. But there's definitely some light in the arm there. Not as much as the other side because it is like partially obstructed. But still, there is definitely a need to do what I'm doing currently. And I will make this a little more transparent because the colour is kind of harsh. Like, I think I could have made it a little like, less bright, should I say, and it would have probably blended a little better, but I've got what I've got. It's something to work with. I can also do, like, various lighting. I think the soft light. I don't know, I use Ibis paint on the tablet a lot, so perhaps even more than this, so this Clip Studio. So I know a lot of stuff about that, but maybe it won't transfer directly as knowledge over to Clip Studio. At least desktop Clip Studio. I wouldn't use the mobile one because it's subscription, and I avoid that stuff like the plague. So we've got the back there. Would there be any lighting? I think there would. Yeah, so as I say, the light's coming down from like here. Actually, from those 2 points alone, I can probably gauge it. Also, if I get a smaller pen size, I think we can gauge the way it's hitting the hand as well. Can gauge a light source. I mean, I know it's an oversimplification of reality, but it is also hitting the hand. So we have the light source coming down from here. And then if we're to go way up here, I mean, I know I'm butchering my own photograph, but so the light source is like somewhere up here, and that's going down. You know what? I can try and make that work, just like an arrow. I mean, as I say, I'm just drawing this directly on top of a photograph, so I'm completely destroying my own photograph within Clip Studio. The file still exists as regular PNG, which I had to convert from HEIC on the Galaxy and the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and it then it became massive, like 300 megabytes. My PC can handle it. Granted, if you see the statistics, which it might have got shuffled about a bit actually. I think I'm using how much memory? 30.5 gigs is that? Less than I expected, but still. I have memory. Yeah, don't come for me. It's only 4 gigabytes. DDR4, but it's only 4 gigabytes. Don't worry, this will appreciate like gold. Someday, people will be paying £200 for a 4 gigabyte stick of DDR4 this way. It's my my retirement plan. Hold on to that until it's worth more. That was inside an OEM PC. That's why I've even got that lower spec of memory. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not high-end in the slightest. Okay, right to file, Clip Studio. I mean, I've got a 15-year-old machine, and that's got 12 gigs in of DDR3. Yeah, like, I'm rich, because I can afford 12 gigabytes of... It's crazy, DDR3 and DDR2 have not actually gone up in value. It's just the newer stuff. Which, for someone like me with older systems, actually works out. Granted, my gaming PC is stuck on 48 gigabytes, and I have no way of upgrading that. I'm trying to grab that when I'm on literally a lighting layer, which doesn't even go there. I did lock the layer as well, I think, so I don't mess with it accidentally. I mean, what I could do, I could have like lighting down here, because if it's hitting the dress, then it's gonna like... If it's hitting that dress, maybe. There is lighting on the back of the reference though. As I say, we've worked out the light source here. Flesh coloured arrows. Because it was convenient. Now, there is actually some light, I think, rebounding here around yet. So, like, we know where the darkness is, but light does rebound all about the place. So it's like, light kind of spills over the back from what I'm seeing. And there's probably trees and stuff. Particularly if they're damp. Trees that act somewhat like mirrors, and they will refract that light. So I think, if we go like that... There's also, I think, if there's the shoulder here, that would let some light through. So I think here, because it's like, I think I call it cell shading, and that's, there wouldn't be any lighting here, but you have to think where the light source is. The light source is, like, over here. Try and zoom in. The light source is over in this area, near the cone. So, then we've got, the light source is, like, bound to hit the body here. It is below the hair, but at the same time, it's also facing the light while being behind the hair, so that's the thing. I want it to be fairly harsh there, just next to the neck. I mean, it's crazy because the way I'm putting it on, it looks like I'm just putting absolute white on it at first glance, and then you look closer, and I'm not putting absolute white on. I am putting, I'm not putting absolute white on. I'm also putting, like just a lighter kind of flesh tone, and it works. I mean, I think that's flesh tone because it's on the, what's it, so that works out. Yeah, there we go. No, there we don't go. I've cut through the wrong elements there. As I say, it's like wherever there's a gap, apparently there's a gap there somewhere. Okay, I've avoided the gap enough. It's like if you do cut just a little too much where there is like any kind of gap, Clip Studio is like, nope, I'm going through there and you can't stop me. You can't tell me what to do. And then I just have to ruin my image because of it. In general, it's okay, because it's still better than having nothing to have this vector eraser. I just have to take a bit of care on the edges. I mean, as I say, I don't like that shoulder too much. I feel the light is too harsh. I guess if I had some shading back here, I feel like the arm would have some on the inside. Not in my arm because there's too much clothing there, but I feel on this arm there would probably be a little light getting through just on the edge here. Not talking a huge amount, but as I say, it's getting hit by the light, so just I'll erase the side on the dress naturally, but I could do with a black background or something very dark just to show up the lighter colour here if it leaks over. I think I can do that, so I don't know, because I'm sure if I just use a fill bucket it'll take an absolute age. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to use like a large pen, because the way this is, it's like you're going to struggle to fit anything here. Whereas this, I can just like, let's do like a little kind of silhouette type deal around the character. That actually covers a lot of the hair and stuff, but this is only temporary for now. It's just to serve the point of like showing if there's anything overrunning the line art. And then I will see it quite clearly. Again, it doesn't extend too far, but it works for the time being. There is actually going to be skin lighting here as well. I didn't pay attention to the legs. But they are also the same as the arms and the whole upper body. And even the face. I've been just doing this like shoulders and arms, and it's there's more to it than that. So anyway, what I was saying, we've got the body shading, or however you call it. Wow, I've got a lot of dropped frames at some point. That is bad. I think it's trying to dual stream. My PC just doesn't like it. But when I'm trying to focus on the drawing, it gets tricky trying to monitor both of them. So, skin base colour, skin lighting. There we go, that's what we want. I mean, as I say, though, this whole thing is going to have... I think I cut quite close here. It's just this part here where there's like a smaller gap. I mean, that might be okay, actually, because I think that there is still a solid line. I think it's actually a solid line all the way around here if I'm not wrong, but I could be mistaken. Better to just go at it with a smaller eraser. Give me that detail. Yeah, the frame drops are odd. It seems like it drops frames when I'm not looking. Maybe it's to do with the GPU and stressing it out on here. Because there has been times when the brush has lagged. And I think it's the GPU that takes a hit there. I don't think a WX 4100 was quite meant to have this longer service life. So there we go. I mean, I'm going to have to add shading, because without shading, the lighting isn't going to make a huge amount of sense. Like, it'll make some sense, not the most. So if I go... Yeah, I don't want that. That's the wrong shade. Something like that, maybe. Just trying to see what works. Yeah, that's too much lighting, even if I make it, Yeah, I feel here... Well, there's more hair on my image. There's hair there anyway. I mean, I think there's probably going to be a bit of shading underneath the hair, honestly. I think that's fine. Like, I don't think anyone's going to see that in super amounts of detail. So I should be able to do that. No, I don't want to fill that. Like, I'm filling the wrong part of the drawing in. There is lighting here, as I say. So we've got the lighting point. It impacts the leg as well. It seems like the stuff right over there on the left is going to be in the light. And as you see, this is where I put the black here. Like, it's easy to say that doesn't make any sense, but it does quickly make sense when that's the case. Like, as I say, on my reference, there was a lot of light hitting in this area. I think it may even get more as you go down, especially with a skirt making shadows in this image. I think, what if I do that? So actually, if I curve it down like so, how would that look? That's almost there. I feel I need a bit more gradual nature. There we go. And there will be some light behind as well. Most likely, at least. Most likely? I don't know. Dad jokes, I guess. Can I go round like so? Yes, I can, but I don't want to cut too deep. So... Okay, so I got that. I do believe I'm probably going to need some on both edges. More on the left-hand side edge, just because of the lighting source. But as I say, I'll go with something like that, perhaps. Like, I just want the point of the stuff above it. Also, the shadow to make sense. So... there we go. I don't think there's been any more frame drops. It's crazy how much lighting I actually end up adding here. Like, so much goes over the edge. So yeah, as I say, like, you can kind of see the glow of the light. Well, that side technically when it appears on the stream. So, the light glow comes down that side. You can kind of see it, I think. Just not so much on the shading to complement it. There's no shading that complements it. I'm kind of learning this as I go along, but the reference is invaluable at this stage because I can use that reference to just kind of know where everything's going. How does that look? I think it needs to like bend out. Maybe? I don't know. It needs to bend some way. So I think there we go. Oh dear, I see like that. I went too close and now it's messing it up. Not by much, but I don't like this being messed up. When I've spent all this time on my line art, I kind of want to use it to get a nice crisp result. I do also need to redo some of the base colours, but as I said, I'm going to do rendering today. I eventually did. It makes the whole dress look lower, whereas when I've done this and it's like showing through. So as I say, there's going to be lesser on the right, basically, because it makes sense with how the lighting is hitting mainly from the left. But it can also, like, appear on the right a little. I have no complaints about that. It's naturally a feature that would happen. I think I need to go, like, that maybe? Nah. I don't know, like... The black here isn't because it's in the dark, it's just because I want to make it all work. And trim around the edge quite nicely. What's going on there? There's something there. I don't know, maybe I did the transparency wrong or something along those lines, but it's showing like a different coloration that shouldn't be there. I mean, the skirt should be extremely easy to add shadows to, but I don't think I'm going to make it that easy on myself. So again, we've got the light source, got where it's hitting. What about the face? I mean, that is also like in the skin element. Nose captures a lot of it. There is a nose, but a smaller nose. And we have... yeah, so just the general front of the face takes a bit of a light. I mean, there's hair here. That will be a part to do in the hair rendering. There's no mouth. I've gone this far, and she has no mouth. There will be a mouth eventually. So I think basically any piece on the face that like sticks out will kind of catch lighting. So have it go all the way down, I think. Just ease off on the chin. Oh dear. I do need to save this, don't I? I'm not saving, and that's a mistake. Don't want to lose all this. At least it's stopped dropping frames. There we go. There we go. Something like that, maybe? No, I think that's a little too much lighting for that part of the body. Like, I wanted to, as I say, I wanted to ease off on the chin a little. But I do want her to maintain some lighting there. There we go. I think that's about correct. Like, it converged there, but that's off the... kind of off the screen, should I say? Yeah, there's some lighting there. That actually looked kind of good on the hair, but... I guess as per my own rules, I must follow the lines. Am I... yeah, I'm on a hard eraser. No idea why it's not cutting this. Now it is. Okay, that line means absolutely nothing. Like, it'll cross that line without paying any attention. Not all the others, it just seems this. I think it's because it's a hairline, personally. I think that's attached to the hair, not the body. So having that, having the body line as being the, like, reference line where it shouldn't cross, that's going to do nothing. I guess it's the same here. I could try setting them both as reference layers, but that's kind of inconvenient. And that's not cutting it where I want it to. Yeah, that eye white is badly messed up. Like, it's just missing so many elements. So there we go. There is lighting there in some way. I could add the hair colour. Not that. That's not the piece I wanted to add. Hair base colour top. Ear base colour. There we go. That black is just like the eyelash, which goes there. It's eyelash. I think that's the term. Okay, so I think that's it for the skin rendering. Here, I'll just check back on the reference image. I don't think there's much I can do, though, in terms of lighting. I mean, theoretically, the shading would go to the other direction. So, like, yeah, let's just do the world's largest arrows. Theoretically, that's the way the shading is going, in contrast to the lighting, and it will not be that simplistic, but like that's a way of doing it. So frames have stopped dropping. That's brilliant. Subtract. Yeah, sometimes weird things can happen. Lighten. If I go with like 50% lighten, how does that look? Lighter colour. I don't really know what's doing. Add glow. I mean, hey, I don't know if lighting does glow. Could go with 66% there. I can try that, but maybe try about 70%. Maybe that's about correct. Say, see the lighting. But it's not so harsh, it's not usable. And then we've got, yeah, we've got the shading to do. I mean, I'll probably finish it at the, finish the skin up and then I'll call it a day. I have done some rendering, not a lot, but something. There's also the eyes, but the eyes take ages to do correctly. And, yeah. Was looking. Oh, yeah, the shading. So here, that's the obvious one. Like, that's always going to exist. The hand there is quite a lot of shadow. You see, it's scary how good this camera was. The fact you can zoom in. That's like a S20, S23 Ultra. It's a phone camera. And you can see all that detail, like, when you zoom that far in. It's scary, because I'm not even, like, super close to the camera, and still you can see all the imperfections. You know, it's like a phone camera doing that. What an age. And it's not even the newest. Well, I say that. They're still using the same sensor in the S25 Ultra, so It's kind of new, but not the newest, latest and greatest camera. Just the best I could get realistically for the money I had to spare on such a thing. So yeah, so we've got the shading. Okay, so what we want to go back to this default, I say default, the basic skin colour, and I do need to save if I haven't saved already, which I don't think I did. I keep forgetting, and I forget that's extremely important. So anyway, I've got that. I'm going to do the same kind of thing with a colour wheel, basically. I think you're supposed to drag it to like a cooler colour, not a warmer one. It's already kind of in the reds, so it's kind of warm. I think, yeah, blues are like darker colours. Or what you want, so I'll go for a kind of deeper blue. See if that works. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe if I go slightly darker towards the pinks. I think it just needs to be slightly cooler, but not loads. So I can go with something like that, which is not going to be as light, but colour picker. Yeah, I'm on the G pen. That's good. Good stuff. So go just under 200 for size, and I can go make that quite dark. Is that... That's more of a reddish colour, which I think is actually better for the overall thing, but don't know if I want to go quite that deep. I think that'll work, but I don't know. If you want a bluish colour to be the shading, and I can make it more transparent if it's like excessively blue. That's like a royal blue. If I go with an extremely cool blue, but not so noticeable like that it's a cool colour. Will that work? Maybe a little less cool, or is that more cool? I'm making guesswork. I think that looks just like black. It isn't quite black, but yeah. Where does it fall in the RGB? Okay, so it's mostly blue. It's pretty close to black. And there we go. So where would it have the shading? So we've got the legs, which are probably simpler actually than mine. Okay, basically there's shade like approaching from where the light doesn't go. So like right at the, well, I would say rear of the legs, but where the legs are away from the light, so not necessarily the rear. Body line art, not what we want. Skin lighting, okay, add another layer just above that, and we'll call it skin shading. For now, that's going to go on top of the lighting, but we can probably move it backwards later on, because it will, I think, look better underneath the lighting. So we've got something like that. Not exactly that, but it's probably going to be pretty light. I think the dark colour is very powerful, so I will be making this lighter. The light was pretty powerful, but this is like even more overpowering. So if we go... try going like that. Yeah, this is so overpowered. Can I go... like, the airbrush is working. Can I, like, fine-tune it to... I can't seem to make it larger. Maybe that's why they restricted the resolution. Yep, that's a way of doing it. I think if I go like pretty dark there. It is reacting to pen pressure, so... Like, I don't think this is going to work. It's just too overpowering. Maybe I don't even want the airbrush, I don't know. Yay, mold. Mold effect. Somehow it didn't drop frames for all that. There we are. Oh dear. It worked on the first one. Worked on the first way around. Okay. Like, that is definitely, as I say, too overpowering. It's not so bad when I make it darker. I think I might have worked out something I can do, but... I don't know. Like, that is just too overpowering, and it's too solid. It doesn't even look like an airbrush it's supposed to be for lighting. So we've got skin shading. And... I do feel like if I go like just wiggle that sideways, how does that look? Makes it look like there's a spine there, which I'm not necessarily the look I'm going for. I mean, I could darken it like underneath the hair. So I feel like here is where it's an awkward balance, because I have to have it so there's like shade from the hair, but there's also the lighting coming from directly behind it. So if we go and I mean, I don't necessarily have to have the lighting behind that though. So if we go remove the hair colours, which are somewhere, line art, hair, and I got rid of a top layer of hair. Where is the other one? Line art, that's a hair line art. I do not know where it's got to. There's weird piece, which is like that one over there. So where is the hair? Hair base. There it is. They're like so far apart. So I've got this. Like, I think I don't actually have to add shading underneath the hair because of the opacity and stuff. That kind of handles it. But I have to add shade white next to the hair. I mean, I can't really sacrifice that amount. But here, I mean, you know, the hair can just make it look like it's in shadow. There'll probably be a whole lot of detail that will mask it anyway on the hair itself, like on top of the hair layers. Or I guess one layer here. So we have that. There we go. Like, I think this is going to work out overall. Bit of imperfections, but it should work. I mean, there's maybe lighting and stuff would make a difference. I don't think shade would. Because I feel the mind will, like, naturally just assume underneath the hair that, you know... What's going on here? That's odd, because it, like, sometimes it does that and it's just like, I'm not going to erase this. And then you try and erase it again and it just erases fine. I mean, maybe it's because it was never made to run at 80,085 pixels, but res is necessary. It's definitely necessary, because I said so. I do feel like I need to get a custom brush though and add more size, but I'm not sure if it will let you go beyond 2000. I've not seen anything on Clip Studio that goes beyond 2000 in size. So we're going to also have a bit of shading here, particularly not around like the absolute edges of the neck, because that's not where like there would be shade. The shade would go something like that. And as I say, there's hair. There will, I feel, naturally be shade underneath the hair. There's a bit less shade there, I think, because of the lighting. I can actually make this, yeah, I can make that much deeper. And that will, again, it's far too much shading, but I think it will show in the ways that are important. The black kind of hides the shading. I can probably remove that now. It was important for the lighting, not so important for the shading. If anything, it hurts there, because I don't know where to trim it. There we go. I mean, I imagine the hair will be some kind of fun when I do get around to that. I've already got base colour to fix, so... Oh dear, Clip Studio is being slow again. That is not great. That is not what I wanted to see. There we go. Somehow I've not got more frame drops since that crazy level of frame drops it had before. Had a frame drop party. Has the music stopped again? No, it hasn't. I feared it had. There we go. And that's one way to mess up your shading. I mean, I can kind of see the vision at least, which I think is worth something. Even if it doesn't end up looking all that great. Then we can go and smaller pen and erase this stuff. I say pen eraser technically. Ah, here we go. You see, this is why I like having the correct colour of border to help trim around it. There we go, bit there. That, yeah, that's not the skin, so that would be a different layer of shading. Yeah, that shading on the legs is just totally messed up. I'm going to have to redo that. These didn't waste loads of time on it. So do we want any shading on the arms here? I mean, there is lighting there, which will be more obvious when there is other stuff there. So yeah. So from what I'm seeing here, I'm not sure if I can highlight it very well. Nope. Well, that's done something. I don't really care about recovering this photo, to be honest. It's just a reference, but it's deciding my time is well spent doing that. Okay. So is this loaded? So there's the there's a shading. Honestly, I could probably make this smaller. All kinds of colours going on here. There's a shading. So it's on like that side of the arm. And I mean, I know things are going to change here. I don't actually need a huge amount. I just need enough to act as a visual representation, I guess. I mean, it's like that. If I could go... That is basically where the shading is, but... I can't quite get it working as I want it to. Granted, at the same time, this stuff will be less transparent. And I clicked the key on the pen, which messed that up. I don't know, like, that is something. Now, if I look on the arm here, yeah. There's a little shade on the inside, which are kind of done. I think I can run a similar thing, like, actually, maybe outside of the, what's it? But I don't know. Like, I think, again, it's like the inside, I feel maybe, should have a little bit of light coming through. Even if I don't represent that with actual lighting, I can represent it by not having shadow there. There we go. Like, I mean, this will be more transparent, but I feel like maybe I didn't need to do that. I don't know. Let's say more transparent. I think I need to find a layer so we can go... There's hard light, there's soft light. Maybe soft light is better. Don't know, I think it's less dramatic. I think if I go maybe 10... You're not needing a lot of transparency here. Can move it below the lighting. Yeah, like you can see this. Okay, that's better. But that's only like 5 is darker colour. Like a way of getting that to look like a bit of a darker version of a skin tone difference, maybe? Subtract. Can try subtract. Seven, there we go. I think for now that is enough. I can get a bit more shading actually up here because hair and such. So if I go... Am I on the right colour? I think I am. Oh no, it's okay, it's not, because it's on a 7, so it's not going to really show all that much. Maybe if I go... Because there's various, I think that would kind of work. Okay, so that is, oh dear. Gone over that in the wrong way. Just be finishing when I've erased this, because I think I'll be at enough of a point. Like, I've done some lighting and shading and stuff. I'm thinking, does it need shadow under there? I've kind of done it, actually. Then I will add the hair in. See how it looks. So... hair, base colour lower, and the upper base colour, if I can find it. I know, that's the upper base colour. There we go. Hair can be added back in. We can go back to like 7, was it? That I decided to use. And I mean, even if it doesn't stand out immediately, I think that's fine. I could probably go with a little less skin lighting actually now. Just make it subtle, so... it's there, but not like over the top. The legs do need redoing at some point because they are just completely messed up. But I think that's something. It does look like it's got a bit more texture to me. Even if it doesn't like immediately stand out, it looks a little more three-dimensional. You can kind of see that the lighting is coming in from up there. So I think that's enough of a success. And the eyes will reflect that as well when they have some detail. I'm not so sure I like what I've done on that arm. Or the legs for that matter. Could maybe find an eraser and just attack it with an eraser and see if that makes it any better. I don't think it will. But anyway, I'll be leaving it here for today. And about 2 hours or so. Just under. And I'll say goodbye.